Hey, fellow babies. Welcome back to the Pachter Factor on SIFTD.net. I am Michael Pachter on Twitter at Michael Pachter. You got to follow me. If you are watching this real time because you're a SIFTD subscriber on Patreon, thank you so much for your patronage. You could be getting this real time on YouTube because you're a YouTube subscriber. You can also link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch Prime account, and you will get this for free, but you'll get it early. If you do none of those things, then you're watching it on YouTube a week late, which is okay. I insist on that because I know you'll be shocked to hear this. I'm not compensated for this. This is a freebie, but I want to make sure everybody could get some pack loving. So you got to give me some loving back. Follow me on Twitter. I literally think in the 5 years I've been doing this, the 500 episodes, whatever we've done, I think I've picked up 5 Twitter followers. So you can be the 6th. From YouTube, from Andrew Janes. What does the future look like for traditional games media? Game Informer just laid off more of its staff. Jeff Gerstmann left Giant Bomb. That's kind of shocking, by the way. Easy Allies has lost several of its founding members in recent months. And Shane has said SIFTD engagement is down. Plus, there hasn't been an E3 in years. Will traditional games media be relevant in 5 to 10 years? Could we be headed for a future where IGN is the only one left? Why do you think experienced gaming journalists and editorial departments of oversight aren't valued like they are in other sectors? The easy answer is that games journalism has never paid well. And while it was incredibly well done, professional writers, professional interviewers, talented writers, and really slick, well-run sites and publications, what happened was the democratization of internet access, and so any clown with a webcam, any clown with one of these and one of these could start offering his opinions on games. And you ended up with bloggers and vloggers and people just creating website after website after website, and we ended up getting a vast surplus of opinions. And what happened was that traffic to the traditional gaming websites went down. And as traffic went down, ad revenue went down. As ad revenue went down, the sites were less profitable, and they kept pulling back on spending because they couldn't figure out how to bring traffic back. And I think that what you've seen in traditional media is the same. But the traditional media sites, and I'm talking about CNET kind of bigger sites, are professionally run by people who have been in business for 20, 30, 40 years, and they figured out ways to stay relevant. Some are doing it with subscribers, some are doing it with better advertising, but they're all figuring out a way to kind of stay afloat. I have seen a phenomenon recently with the Washington Post creating Launcher, and hiring professionals, and the people that work there are pretty good. I mean, they have good writers. I'm seeing traditional media hiring pretty established video game journalists. So Jason Schreier works for Bloomberg, and that's a traditional media site, and he's a good writer and he's a smart guy. But it's not going to be the same because gamers aren't supporting the traditional sites. So Game Informer, which is part of GameStop, there's just not the traffic. It used to be you become a GameStop Power Up Rewards member and you get Game Informer for free, or you sign up for Game Informer, you get Power Up Rewards for free. The traffic at GameStop is down. People, GameStop apes out there who are watching this and want to point out to me that their revenues are up. Yeah, there was a console launch at the end of 2020. Of course their revenues are up because they're selling consoles. Wait till they've sold those through, that revenues are going back down. So what it comes down to, it's like my business. We've had a commoditization of stock market trading where commissions have gone from, like, literally when I started, 6.25 pennies per share traded to 0.5 pennies now. So we've literally had the per share commission go from 6.25 cents to half a cent. And I get paid out of trading commissions. So what's happened in my industry is revenues have gone down, down, and the solution is pay analysts less, And they don't cut our pay. They get rid of the high-priced ones and they hire low-priced ones. That's what happened to traditional gaming journalism. They couldn't afford to pay the good people, and the good people went to Bloomberg, like Schreier. Stephen Totillo, who was at Kotaku, is at Axios, and he's great. And it's few and far between the guys like Dean Takahashi who end up at a site that actually makes money like GameSpeed. They make their money from running conferences primarily, but they're good. So you're just getting fewer and fewer professionals and a lot more amateurs, and I think the quality of the journalism proves that, and it's sad. Is it going away forever? It's encouraging that the Washington Post is putting resources into it. The New York Times has done so in the past. I don't think they're currently invested, but they've gone back and forth, having a professional journalist writing about games. You'll always have some coverage on traditional media, but having a professional staff, probably not. I think stuff goes away. The stuff about, part of it is we haven't had E3 mostly because of COVID. E3 couldn't pull it together this year because they didn't commit early enough, and when they were required to commit to the convention center space, Omicron was back, and we were worrying about masks and infections, and I think they didn't have the confidence to commit to spending 20 or 30 or 40% of their annual budget on something that might not happen. It'll be back next year. We're not going to have that's coming back, but coverage of it is going to be a bunch of bloggers, so we'll see. I really don't know. I think it's for the worst that we don't have pros covering this stuff, and I think I've probably known every good game journalist ever. And you're right. Gersman's a stud. I love Gersman. Easy Allies guys, they went from being traditional journalists to Easy Allies. So Brandon was like the good one. What's he doing? I think, unfortunately, the internet is really good for a lot of things. It makes a lot of things cheap, and it cheapens a lot of other things. So, the good news for the internet is you can get all the information in the world that you want. The bad news is a lot of it's not accurate and not well done. This whole worry about fake news and these internet conspiracy theories and stuff, the internet is so democratic, small d, that they let bozos post stuff too, and there's just no way to know if something is true or hoax. I was literally sitting on my patio this week, and one of my friends goes, "Do you know where the word golf came from?" And I said, "I don't." And he goes, "Gentlemen only, ladies forbidden." And I'm like, that can't be right. And another guy sitting there goes, "Oh, no, that's what it is. It's what it is." And of course, I look up on the internet. It's like, golf comes from the old Danish kolf for club, whatever. And I'm like, I send it to them. I'm like, this was wrong. And they went, oops. And then they go, but there's this internet meme going around that says it means gentlemen only, ladies forbidden. And I'm like, that's the problem, is that you get an internet meme and then people repeat it like it's true. I don't know if you've seen this, but it's there's a bunch of, type in Abraham Lincoln meme, and there's pretty much Abraham Lincoln saying every kind of saying you ever would want to say. Like, I'll wait for it to be on video. There wasn't video when Abraham Lincoln was alive. You can find him saying everything because people just post any kind of saying and then attribute it to Abraham Lincoln. Anyway, that's the internet. So welcome to the internet and trolling. I hope that answers your question. I don't think that they're not valued because you're not willing to pay for it. That's really the answer. And you're only willing to pay for news if you're willing to sit through ads. And sites that don't advertise well, I'm one of those guys. Like, I read the Daily Beast and I actually really like it. I give them $50 a year. I'm on the list for the Atlantic. They have a whole bunch of different journalists who write about once a week little blogs. I pay $50 a year just to get their journalist blogs. But they have about a dozen of them, so I get like 10 or 12 blogs a week for $50. What a deal, right? $1, and I'm getting 10 or 12 blogs. And I sign up for stuff like that. I sign up for stuff that I don't even open because I want to support journalism. As long as it's $50 or less a year, I just do it. Because I figure, support journalism. If you read it once, pay for it. I pay $365 a year to NPR. and I don't even get in my car or drive or read it. And all NPR content is posted on Twitter for free. You can, if you follow NPR on Twitter, every single episode of every single show is there, and you can click through and read the transcript on the website. But I still give them $1 a day, because what the hell? I consume their content, they deserve it. So that's who I am, because I actually love journalism and I believe in it, and I believe people should get paid. You've heard our introduction to these shows. Thank you if you're a Patreon patron. That's because it's not free to produce this stuff. It's free for me. It's not free for Shane. He's got to record it. He's got expensive equipment that was stolen a couple of years ago, and he had to replace it. He's got post-production, editing, got to get it posted to the web. It's hard to do. It costs money. So if you value this content, join SIFTD. And I don't think it's very much, $2 a month.
For Pachter, it's just $2 a month.
Yeah, $2 a month to see my show. Come on. Thanks for joining us on today's Pachter Factor on SIFTD.net. To our Patreon patrons, thank you so much. To our YouTube subscribers, thank you so much. To all of you who have Amazon Prime, create a Twitch Prime account and link them. It's really easy to do. You can use your parents' account. We get paid. You don't have to, it costs you $0. It's included in your membership, and you have to renew that. So go to the link on the show description below, and it'll teach you how to do that, but do it, please. And if you can't do any of those things, if you don't have Prime and you don't think this is worth paying for, you have to follow me on Twitter as a price of admission, @Michael Pachter. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.